Hey, Deacon Mitch here. So today we're going to do a video version of the weekly Metal Maker. We're on Metal Maker number 282. We've been doing these things weekly for a long time. And what these are quadruple shots of information for you. There's a fitness section, a martial arts section, an outdoor skills section, and a spiritual section. And today's is called Reality Show. Stay tuned because we're going to get into all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to talk about pornography. We're going to talk about video games. I'm going to make some really cool announcements. So stay with me. All right, so first the self-defense portion. For self-defense, nothing beats Heritage Arts constitutionals. Our constitutionals are the real deal. They are the actual exercises that you need to do to get yourself fighting fit. And I'm going to challenge you today to just knock out real quick the constitutional that we did this past Thursday. 25 back bridges, 25 clocks, 60 seconds of bottom scissors, 8 times 4 yards, about 30 yards of crawls, heavy bag squeezes, 60 seconds, 25 push-ups, and 25 shin rides. That should take you somewhere in the 15-minute range if you have good form. If you're confused about the exercises, then I suggest that you follow the links in the description to the other video that we have up that describes all of our constitutional exercises all the way through. Again, if you are a self-defense person, a martial arts person, then you need to be doing the Heritage Constitutionals. They're peerless. And if you want a free program, Heritage Self-Defense online learning program is completely free. Just go to heritageartsinc.com/learn. Now, the fitness portion, irrespective of self-defense. How many decisions do you make about fitness based on what everyone else is doing? Did you start doing the battle ropes because everybody else is doing the battle ropes? Did you start pushing the sleds because everybody else is pushing the sleds? Or did you make those decisions based on facts? Look, the subject of this week's Metal Maker is reality show. I mean, people love to jockey for position. They like to cut angles and weave in and out and make all kinds of fancy moves to try to get more popularity, more power, and more clout. The problem is that skill, expertise, knowledge, wisdom, talent, all of that, none of that's really a requirement, because there are plenty of people with power, popularity, and influence who are completely devoid of skills or talents. They're just famous for being famous. And many of them got that way by being on reality shows. So my point in choosing that title for today's Metal Maker is to ask you, are you in a reality show? Are you pretending? Or are you actually doing stuff? So when it comes to your fitness, are you just sort of doing what everyone else is doing? Or are you trying to figure out what you should do? Now, football players for 50 years have been pushing sleds. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's a possibility that sleds might work. They might actually do something that makes you stronger and more able to push. And in self-defense, that could have some value. I'm going to say it's probably not as directly relevant as hitting a heavy bag, though, if martial arts is your game. So if you're into fitness, I would say don't do what everyone else is doing. Don't try out the rope machine and waste your time on things that's not your goal. Look for the things that you need to be doing to actually do the things you want to get done. Does the chosen activity actually make you faster, stronger, or better at your sport, whatever it is you're trying to do. You know, P90X is not going to make you a better tennis player. And, you know, again, hats off to Mark Hatmaker for pointing out this to me years ago and every day to help all of us. All right. Now, for the outdoor skills portion of today's video. How much of what you know about the outdoors is real? Now, what I mean by that is, I mean, sure, maybe you know that 2 feet of leaves will shed water better than a tin roof. Yeah, you might know that, but have you ever actually spent the night, a rainy night, in a shelter beneath 2 feet of leaves? Do you know that that works? Sure, you probably know how important it is to have a reflector behind you if you want to stay warm on a cold night in front of a fire. But have you actually ever put up a reflecting wall on a cold night to keep from dying of hypothermia? Have you done that? I've done that. Sure, you know how important it is to have a positive attitude in a survival situation, but have you ever actually been in a situation where you had to drag your attitude, your bad attitude, back from the abyss? Sure, you watch movies and read books about great adventures, both real and fictional. But have you ever been on an adventure? Or when was the last time you went on an adventure? I suggest you go outside and go on an adventure before you run out of time. Go. Get there. Get dirty. If you need help with an outdoor training plan, again, Heritage Arts Inc., we offer the Wildwood Distance Learning Program. It's totally free. Go to heritageartsinc.com/learn and sign up. All you got to do is do the work and earn rank. It's amazing. And then finally, for the spirit portion of today's video, and I'm trying to get done in 10 minutes, and we're at 8 minutes. So we're about there. Is it just a video game? Is it just a movie? Is it just TikTok? That's my question. I mean, the question is, if you're acting out a crime spree while playing a video game or watching a movie in which the protagonist is a degenerate or looking at porn, to what degree are you actually performing those actions? To what degree are you actually training your brain to act out those behaviors? Now, psychologists and sociologists have been studying this for years. They've tried many times to make a direct connection between simulated violence and actual violence, between simulated immoral activity and real immoral activity. And the studies have been very controversial and up and down, and there doesn't seem to be any conclusive evidence that playing video games has any violent video games, for example, has any effect on violent behavior. It's hard to prove, but to sort it out, let's take a look at the science on visualization, because I think that's very revealing. Successful athletes visualize their actions beforehand. Almost every single successful athlete does this. They imagine their drive off the tee, their home run hit at bat. They visualize their takedowns. You know, as a martial artist, I visualize moves. As I practice moves, I visualize and execute, visualize and execute. And it works. they activate the same pathways as actual practice. When you visualize an activity, it primes the pump for the actual activity. When properly paired with actual activity, studies show that mental practice time is about 80% as effective as physical practice time. Visualization in sports has real-world effects when it's integrated as part of a program. But let's go a step further, if you will. Pornography has been directly correlated to increased rates of divorce, sexual deviancy, sexual criminality, belief in the rape myth, and so forth. And this has been demonstrated repeatedly in study after study. So, on the one hand, we can't prove that imagination and visual activity correlates, and on the other hand, that we can. And this can be kind of hard to sort out. I think there's something going on here that has to do with intent. What is your intent? But oftentimes when I try to sort these sorts of things out and I try to figure out what I should and should not be doing, I have a tendency to turn to the gospel. And if we turn to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 27 through 28, we read the following. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. So, in sum, turn off the video game console. Put down the remote control. Actually practice your self-defense. Do the fitness exercises that are real, that are demonstrated to actually work. Go outside, practice your outdoor skills on real adventures. And spiritually, turn away from the violent and the immoral, and maybe join us for Holy Communion on Sunday. And if you need help breaking free from media of whatever form, don't hesitate to schedule a pastoral training session. Listen to me, training session. I'm going to leave that blooper in. Feel free to schedule a pastoral counseling session with me. I would be delighted to help you any way that I can. The announcement I wanted to make that I told you about at the beginning is I was just inducted into the Sons of the American Revolution this week. And I'm pretty excited about that. Here's a picture of my certificate. Not because I want another certificate to put on the wall, but because I want to get involved in that. My wife had knee replacement, so I'm kind of busy at the moment taking care of my beautiful wife, and I've got a lot going on. But particularly, in 4 or 5 years when I retire, I'd like to be much more involved in going around to the schools and teaching the kids about the importance of the Great American Experiment and doing things like that, because I think it's important for us to preserve this country and to remember what makes it special and to carry that forward. Because if we don't, well, you know what happens when you don't take care of the things that you value. If you don't maintain them, they fall apart. Another thing that happened recently is that my seminary work has been largely academic. I've been doing videos and studying and reading books and so forth, but I've started to get more requests to actually do pastoral care and pastoral work, which really excites me. And so Sunday is going to be an opportunity for me to go and actually perform a service for an individual who's not well and to actually make a visit. And I'm really excited about the opportunity to do that and to serve. So hopefully those will increase, because as much as I like reading books and doing academics, I really want to be of service and do things that are real. And that sort of ties into the subject of this week's Mettle Maker, because I like the real. I like the real. I don't like the increasingly less and less enjoy that which is fictional. Heritage Arts Inc. is a non-profit, so please donate if you would see fit to do so. Go to heritageartsinc.com and make a donation. And if Heritage Arts can benefit you, if you think that you would like to partner with us, with your organization, then by all means, send me an email, mitch@heritageartsinc.com, and let's talk about how we can benefit you and your community, your group, your organization, and so on. Thanks for watching. Take care.